Good evening and welcome to this session of the live virtual classes conducted by the Board of Studies Academics of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. All along, we have been, discussing for the last two sessions the topic of audit and auditors, and we have covered a lot of ground. We have, in fact, in terms of topics, we have done appointment, qualification, and eligibility, etc. And we were doing removal, resignation, etc. when last class at the end. So now we'll start where we left off. As far as removal is concerned, we have already seen removal of auditor before expiry of term of office. We have already seen this. Now we are going to see removal of the auditor, not removal. Actually, even this term, removal of auditor before expiry of term, would be wrong, because if you remove an auditor, post cannot be vacant. You have to appoint somebody, right? That will be a casual vacancy. You have to appoint somebody, right? This provision before expiry of term is new. It was not there earlier. It was not there earlier for us to compare it with an earlier thing. Earlier, you couldn't remove an auditor and all before the term of office. You could not, period. He may resign. Resignation was always possible. But removal before, no. You have to wait for the AGM. When at the AGM, you can appoint a person other than the retiring auditor, or you can expressly resolve that the retiring auditor shall not be reappointed. But now they have introduced this concept of removal. I don't know whether any firm has ever, whether any company has ever done this. Okay? I don't, if they do it. See, because when the auditor is carrying on his function, you have to really find out that he is negligent during his performance, which is very difficult, because he would have asked for some details you are not able to give. He would have pointed out certain discrepancies. You don't agree with him. No, this cannot be a ground for removal. There should be total negligence. Except in those cases, what generally the companies do is they take a resignation from him. They take a resignation from him wherein he says personal reasons and he goes away. Then they take an NOC from him, to appoint another auditor, which is perfectly in order. Okay, which is perfectly in order. Normally. So rarely will you find that a company goes through the extraordinary process of going to the central government, because the minute you go to central government, you're opening yourself up. And one more thing is that, see, the auditor would have quietly gone away. He would have obviously, you want to remove him because he has made certain adverse comments about your accounts. You agree, you don't agree, whatever it is, he's made certain comments. Now, that's a professional issue. You have to convince him professionally. Instead, if you threaten him with removal, you have to go to central government. No, you means, I'm sorry, the company has to go to central government. No, when the company goes to central government, the CG, the central government here is the regional director, cannot simply, yes, auditor, get out like that. He can't tell. He has to give the auditor an opportunity to represent, reasonable opportunity. No, at that point in time, that man will come and give. See, once you're opening the whole floodgate, you're giving him every opportunity to comment everything about your company. Think about it. And he will come and do. He will obviously have to defend himself, because he is protecting himself from a possible professional negligence suit. So he will come and say, what is my mistake? What happened? And all sorts of things. I believe me, this whole activity is not worth the effort. You are better off falling at the feet of the auditor saying, Baba, your knowledge is extraordinary. We are unable to handle your queries. Kindly help us. You resign. We will go. He will also go, because he also doesn't want any fight. Yeah. And if he feels that the accounts are so bad, he himself will go away, because why should he take a risk by signing that balance sheet? He himself would be ready to go. Simply take a resignation and finish it is the plan. What I'm telling is common sense. But still you want to try your hand at this section, it is available to you, readily waiting for the company to go and try to remove. Procedure is very important. And the exam questions are asked only on the procedural part. Board meeting. Within 30 days of passing, you have to make an application, ADT 2. The central government, before passing an order, will give the opportunity to the auditor to be. Then the central government will finally pass an order for removal. Once the order is passed, from the date of receipt within 60 days. So 60 days, दो conditions है. पहले it should be 60 days. Within 60 days, but you should also ensure that you are passing a special resolution. Correct. So first 60 days of the receipt of CG approval, two special. If any one ingredient is missing also, technically the removal is invalid. He will continue. So that, which is the basis for Sachidanand. Okay, just I thought I will quickly revise also. So though in practice, no company would take a risk on this section. From the exam point of view, knowledge sake, they might ask you a question like this, for which you have to answer the way we have researched. Now here we come to a more logical area. Was even here, what will happen is, there have been differences of opinion with the auditors. At one point in time, they will say, some reconciliation is arrived at. They say we will qualify, everything is over. But we go to them and say, sir, you know very well we are not able to handle this. Why don't you resign? Based on that, at the next coming AGM, we will appoint somebody else. Okay, do whatever you want, get out. Like that, he might say. That's so normal. But this situation is slightly different. See, here's a situation where the board of directors have proposed to reappoint the existing auditor. So, unless rotation rules apply, an auditor can be reappointed any number of times, 5 years at a time. So, man's coming up for reappointment at the next AGM, right? So, you know that he's the auditor for the last, say, next 5 years he's going to be auditor. 3 years down the line, the members are not happy with him. Okay. So, what happens? The auditor comes up for reappointment at the 5th AGM. Correct? No. So, at that point in time, the members want somebody else. Can they ask? Yes, they can. For that, they have to serve a special notice. Normally, notice. There's no ordinary notice. Friends, there is ordinary resolution, special resolution. There is ordinary business, special business. But there is no ordinary notice, only special notice. When you give a notice for the annual general meeting, it is not ordinary notice. It's a notice. Notice of annual general meeting. They call this special notice because it is a notice given by the members to the company. It is impossible that in the examination they will ask you, what is special notice? No. Rather, they would give you a case, an example, and they will ask you whether the notice has been served correctly. Then they might ask you on what advise the company on what it should do. Such question will come. But 100% they won't say, write a short or what is special notice? No. Such theory questions, 100% you won't get. What you will get is a problem based on the situation, which is what I'm trying to do throughout the class. I'm giving you a situation, asking. Situation, asking. So, who can give special notice? Members can give. Can one single member give? Not impossible, but to give special notice, there is a requisite number of members. Members holding not less than 1% of the total voting power. 1% of total voting power. Total voting power defined already is there in the definition. You studied it. Easy to understand. On a poll, 1 share, 1 vote. On a poll, 1 share, 1 vote. Only when the voting is by show of hands, 1 man, 1 vote. Okay, company form of organization, you have to be very careful because you studied it in management administration. Still, I want to make the point here. Company form of organization, whoever holds more share capital will have more power. That is how it is, and that's how it should be. Because this is not social justice. Sir, I have Mr. Ambani, Mr. Mukesh Ambani has sunk thousands of lakhs of crores in that company. What have I done? I have 3,600 shares. It so happens I have 3,600 shares. Where is 3,600 shares? Where is Mr. Mukesh Ambani's stake? Obviously, he should have more power in controlling the company. Yeah. But my belief in that, by entrusting the management of affairs to him and his board as a shareholder, I am safe. That the Ambani family, Dhirubhai ji and Mukesh ji, they will take care of my money. My wealth will be maximized. And they have been doing it consistently for the last 30 years. Without 25 years, without any problem, they have been giving me extraordinary wealth maximization, which means I'm happy with them. So this is the whole concept of corporate dynamics. So more money, more power. The pure capitalism. There is no way we can bring socialism into it. There is no way we can try to justify this. I mean, from a socialistic perspective. But from a capitalistic perspective, it is easy to justify. My risk is more, I get more power, period. That's it. That's all. But it cannot be that the majority can do whatever they want. So there are many. So in other words, the Companies Act is nothing but putting some checks and balances on the majority group or the board of directors from mismanaging the company. That's all. Once you understand it from this perspective, the entire Companies Act will fall into place. It is nothing but checks and balances. The MD and his board have all the power to do whatever they want for running the company and maximizing it. The minute they start trying to do some nonsense, there are sections in place to control. Like that. Okay. Now, so here's a case where a collusive auditor is supporting a bad management, the way possibly Mr. Ramalinga Raju and his auditor were colluding, or maybe not colluding, or whatever. In those cases, the members may not want this man to continue, this auditor to continue. No problem. So then they can make a special notice, provided they are holding 1% of the total voting power. How to calculate total voting power? Company is having share capital, no problem. What is the number of shares representing the paid up capital? Paid up capital consists of 1 lakh shares of rupees 10 each, 10 lakhs. What is the number of shares? 1 lakh. So on a poll, how many votes can be cast? The total number of votes which can be cast on a poll, POLL poll, or poll, or whatever you want to say. Total number of votes which can be cast on a poll is the total voting power. So 1 lakh shares, company having share capital. If all the votes are cast, how many votes will be cast? 1 lakh. So 1 lakh is the thing. So I should hold 1% of that. That's all. 1% of 1 lakh, 1,000 shares into 10,000 rupees worth of shares. This is one thing. Or suppose the company is huge and I calculate 1%. That itself comes to 50 lakhs, 20 lakhs. Not necessary. If together the members are holding shares on which 5 lakh has been paid up. 5 lakh rupees has been paid up. Right? Okay. Now you will have only one question. Sir, if the company does not have share capital, correct. Then the company does not have share capital. What is the total voting power? 1 man, 1 vote. Company not having share capital, 1 man, 1 vote. Okay? Which means what? Number of members. Number of members. Okay? Therefore, suppose the company is having, let us say, 50 members, then 1% of 50, right? Very small, less than 1. 1% can also do it. For the sake of, convenience, let's have 500 members, yeah. Then what happens? 500 members, 1%, 5. 5 people should. So 1% of the total voting power. If that is not possible, then members holding in the aggregate not less than 5 lakh rupees. See, this you have to link with management and administration. In management and administration, there are numerous sections. At least 5 sections are there, wherein a requisite number will be prescribed. A requisite number for asking for a poll, requisite number for requisitioning an extraordinary general meeting, requisite number for special notice, requisite number for circulation of members' resolution. Like that, there are about 5. I have given you 4. Maybe one more is there. Definitely, these 4 are there. So what happens if you can prepare a note showing everything? Chances are you will remember it better. Okay. So the member should send it to the company not earlier than 3 months. Some of you may be objecting to my covering this topic because it is already covered in the last class. If so, follow on. Knowingly only I'm doing this. Knowingly I'm revising it because some of them could have forgotten. Therefore, I'm revising it. Okay. If you have pointed it out, let me humbly beg your patience. I will finish it and then we'll go on. So it should be sent to by the members. So it can be sent not earlier than 3 months. See, he was appointed for 5 years. You know that at the 5th AGM, he will come up for thing. So why wait till the notice of the AGM is given? Well before that, not earlier than 3 months. That's all they say. Not so be a little careful. AGM normally will be held around between August to September. So 3 months. So but in June itself, you give the notice. Or you want to be safe. Then wait for the AGM notice to come. You will get it 21 days before. Then 14 days before you send, the members can send. Now, company is receiving it. Then at least 7 days before the meeting, it should be circulated to all the members. This can be done. Or if you don't want to circulate it, you can give an advertisement. If it is not practicable, then notice may be published at least 7 days before the meeting. 7 clear days. Whenever we say clear days, we mean not including the date of receipt and the date of delivery or the date of service and the date of the meeting. In between, 14 days should be there. Like that, in between, 7 days should be there. Okay. So that is why posting may be difficult, sending a mail may be difficult. Therefore, you can give an advertisement in 2 newspapers, one in English and one in vernacular. Idea is everybody should be aware or deemed to be aware. Now, a special notice is received under 115, read with Rule 24, for appointing a person other than retiring auditor or explicitly resolving that retiring auditor shall not be reappointed. See, Mr. Anil, if you are raising your hand, I really don't see what can be done about it. If you have a question, you put it in the query pad. After I finish this topic, this particular topic, I will come to the questions. If you think I am not answering your question, just be a little more patient. If I will read the question and answer it. I don't want to stop my flow. Therefore, I'm not answering. Okay. So I will not be answering now. Wait. Once I complete this particular topic, okay, appointing remover appointed at the AGM, then I will see all the queries. In the meantime, whatever questions you have, you put it in the query pad. In the chat box. Allow me to come to answer it. Okay. So, company shall give notice to members at least 7 days before meeting. Then, once the company receives such a notice, they will send a copy to the retiring auditor, who shall be entitled to make representation in writing. See, here also, the retiring auditor is being given an opportunity to make his representation in writing. Because, see, this is a very serious issue, no? Appointing somebody else other than him, or expressly resolving that the retiring auditor shall not be reappointed. Now, this could happen only when there is some, again, the auditor is, suppose the auditor feels that he is being unlawfully removed, you will get a chance to comment about it to the members. See, that's why I'm saying, if the board of directors want to remove the auditor or appoint somebody else at the AGM, best thing is to go to him, ask him to express his inability to continue. That's all. That way, straight away, you can appoint somebody else and go without notice and all that. But he has to give his given writing that he is there, express his inability to continue. But if he is not going to do that, then you have to go through this process. Even, see, this is available to members, also to the board, also to the majority. If the majority wants to remove the auditor also, in the AGM, if they want to appoint somebody else also, they have to go through the same process. And the auditor will be given an opportunity to make representation in writing. See, suppose the MD is defrauding the company. Auditor wants to point it out to the members. The MD doesn't want him to do it. Therefore, he wants to send somebody. He wants to send he wants to send the auditor out. Then the auditor now gets a chance to make a representation, and this will be circulated to all the members. And all the notices given by the company shall mention that such a representation has been received. In case the copy of the representation is not sent because it was received a little late, or because the company's default also, the auditor may, without prejudice to his right to be heard orally, require that the representation shall be read out at the meeting. So he can say, I will come and talk, but before that, you read this out. Then I will explain what I'm saying. Can be done. So the right of the auditor to be heard orally at the meeting is additional, is also there. These are not different. That is, if this right is used, that right is not exhausting. Okay. Even after making representation in writing, the auditor can still insist on making oral representation. Okay. If a copy of the representation is not sent, a copy should be filed with the registrar. Now, it's a very elaborate explanation. Quickly, I will tell you that an auditor making a representation under this section 140 subsection 4 has certain rights. It's called a privilege. This is called a qualified privileged occasion, where he has a duty to make certain statements to the members. After all, the auditor is the auditor is conducting the audit on behalf of the members. He is reporting to the members. Therefore, there are certain things that he may want to, he has a duty to report to the members. And such a person is making a report to those people who have duty to listen. Because after all, it is your company. So the duty to report coupled with duty to listen on such a situation is called qualified privileged occasions. At that point in time, the person making the statement, the privileged statement, can make some, he shouldn't intentionally abuse or intentionally make, shall we say, defamatory statement. See, just because the opportunity is there, the auditor cannot come and say the MD is a fraud, he is a gunda like that. See, yeah, you might make one statement without proof. Okay, again, in context, you might say, there are many expenses made by the MD for which proper accounting is not done. Most of them are personal in nature. There were a few expenses of his club bills, especially alcohol, being reimbursed by the company. These are personal expenses being reimbursed. No, this is not defamatory. Actually, I can prove it, but still, such statements are okay. But if the auditor is abusing this, if that right conferred by this section to make certain statements is abused by the auditor, then the tribunal will pass an order there that this representation need not be sent out and the representation need not be read out at the meeting. But he can always come and do it, make oral representations. Okay. See, this elaborate provision is meant to protect the auditor and his professional reputation. Okay, now before we go to the question, let me see. So many questions have been asked. Let me see what all are there. Now, when the auditor retired or completed 5 years, then cooling period of 5 years required. Then how? See a retiring auditor. My dear Mr. Navneet Maurya, there are different categories of companies. For some companies, rotation will apply. For some companies, rotation will not apply. You understand now? There are companies to which the cooling period section applies. There are some companies to which it does not apply. So these appointment is for, you have to take it that it is for such companies. Have you understood, sir? All companies, there is no cooling period. Only certain categories, which we saw already. For certain categories, only rotation and cooling period is there. For certain categories, other than those, there is nothing. Such an auditor can be reappointed a number of times. Have you understood, Mr. Navneet? Okay, so kindly confirm that you have. I have answered it, and then because you have put the question 2 times. Therefore, okay. In fact, I did mention it when I started the topic itself. Okay. Correct. Absolutely correct, Mr. Anand. The auditor should not take the advantage. See, definitely you can express your concern. The section is meant to protect both the auditor and the shareholders from nefarious management, from crooks, but should not misuse it, is the point. Here we go with Mr. Nityanand, who is the current auditor of Mrs. Delight Food Products Limited. Is retiring at the next AGM when he would be completing 2 terms since his first appointment. Friends, this is the point Mr. Navneet was raising. If he has already completed 2 terms, would not the cooling period apply? It may not. It will not apply if he doesn't come within that category of companies. So he can be appointed for another period also. No. In fact, this 2 terms itself is not relevant. He can be appointed 15 terms also. Nobody can prove it. The company has a paid-up capital of 5 lakhs, consisting of 50,000 shares of rupees 10 each. Members holding 700 shares have said special notice in accordance with section 115. See, this question, whether it should be classified here or whether it should be classified as management and administration, both, because the section 115 is in management and administration. 144 is in this section. Okay. So both are covered. So this is the topic which has 2 concepts. So the board complied with section 115, and at the next AGM, Mr. Nityanand was not reappointed, and in his stead, Mr. Brahmanand was appointed. Mr. Nityanand claims automatic reappointment under section 139. That is, if this special notice is invalid now, then the whole process is invalid. Then he will automatically be reappointed. That's what he's claiming. Is he valid? Let me see. Okay, you can give me the answer, then I will use. Only 3 answers have come. Not valid. Nityanand is valid. No. Nityanand is valid or not, we do not know. Appointment is valid or not. See, otherwise the company has complied with 115. They have appointed Brahmanand. Now Nityanand claims automatic reappointment. For that, you have to only examine 115 applicability. So, what is the requisite number? 1% of the total voting power. Am I correct? 50,000 shares. Correct? 50,000 shares. 1%. Let me calculate so that I won't have any trouble. 1% of 50,000 is 500. 500 shares. Members holding 700 shares have sent special notice. So one special notice is valid. And we shall presume that it was all sent well in time. And if it is not sent in time, the company can as well refuse to proceed with it. So they have proceeded. The board complied with section 115. Everything was done as per that. So the appointment of Brahmanand is valid. So Nityanand is not valid. The Nityanand's claim of automatic reappointment is not valid. Friends, have you understood? Are you still having any doubt? Because many of you have said it is valid. Nityanand is valid. Nityanand valid or invalid, I don't know. The appointment of Brahmanand is valid. Nityanand's argument is invalid. Okay. Now, as I keep on telling you, the Satyam scam has cast a very long shadow on the auditing profession. Okay. Now, when there is a fraud, what to do? There should be a special provision for removal of auditor. Actually, in those days, there was a clear provision for removal of auditor by the central government itself. Many people don't know. Auditor could be removed by the central government. Okay, under investigation. But they themselves don't realize they have given this section. This power could have been taken by the central government. Why give it to the members? Okay, and that too elaborate procedure. Okay, so but and then we have to see the condition. Okay, first of all, there should be a fraud. Okay, fraud. There should be a fraud in the company, first of all. The auditor has directly or indirectly acted in a fraudulent manner. He himself has acted in a fraudulent manner or abetted. So word abetting, A-B-E-T-T-I-N-G, very important in the criminal procedure code. See, when a criminal offense is being committed, there are two things. One, the person who actually commits and the person who abets him or who supports him or who provides all the facilities for him to do it or motivates him to do it. So abetting the crime, it's called abetting. Okay. Instigation is there, abetting is there. Where somebody commits the crime. See, think about it. One gentleman, Mr. Nathuram Godse, he assassinated Mahatma Gandhi. Did he act on his own? No. There were people who instigated him, people who brainwashed him and said, Gandhi has to be killed. Anyway, now I'm giving an example. So, instigator. They were instigating. So, he read a lot of books and he realized except whether what he did is right or wrong is a bigger question. There was another Godse trial and he was sentenced to death. Before that, he wrote a book, Why I Killed Gandhi. I don't know how many of you have read it. I don't know how many of you are aware that such a book is there. I'm not asked. See, while you read Why I Killed Gandhi, you should also read Annihilation of Caste by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. These are all essential reading for younger generation of this country. If you are less than 40 and you have not read many of these books, Why I Killed Gandhi, Annihilation of Caste by B.R. Ambedkar, these are all essential reading. Okay? Only then you will understand the crucible in which our country was formed. Okay, it is not just casually done. It's not just black and white and saying this, so good, bad, ugly. There's so many things that have to be understood. So in that process, somebody may instigate, somebody may abet. Sir, simple, sir. A has to commit the murder. He comes from Bombay, wherever, Delhi, Calcutta, whatever. He comes by flight, gets down at the airport. He is totally hands-free, nothing. He'll walk in through the security. And then he comes out of the airport. He gets into a car. Person is there. He gives a gun to him, gets down the car and goes. Now with that gun, this guy goes straight to the victim's house, rings the bell, then takes the gun, dishum, shoots it. And then he goes out. Another person is waiting. He gives the gun. Straight away comes, takes the flight, goes back. This is called Supari killing. Now, see, these two guys who came and gave the gun and took back the gun. Now, what are they doing? They are abetting. Are you able to understand who committed the murder? Mr. X. But X had no gun. Somebody gave him the gun. Then, after X shot him, somebody took the gun and destroyed it or hit it. These gentlemen are all abetting the crime. Are you able to understand? Abetting. I'm trying to explain. By giving you these extraordinary examples, I'm trying to help you to understand the meaning of the word abetting. So, in fact, the bigger thing, many jurists or students of jurisprudence will say, who is more to be punished? The person who committed the crime or those who abetted it. They'll say abetting people are to be punished more because without them this could not have been done, which is what they're trying to do here. Where the auditor has abetted, sir, the MD, Mr. Ramalinga Raju, did all sorts of fraud. But without the support of the auditor, how he could have done it? Either his active support or his connivance. Something. So abetted or colluded in any fraud or in relation to the company or its directors or officers. So straight away Satyam, they've taken a page out where there is in those cases, there should be a special provision for removal of the auditor. Now, what is the procedure? So, first of all, the central government has formed an opinion that there is a fraud, that the auditor has abetted or colluded in such a fraud. Either it's in relation to the company or its directors or officers. Then, either the central government may make an application to the tribunal, or there is a complaint from some members pending before the tribunal, maybe mismanagement. While going through the mismanagement details, they find, hey, auditor has also been colluding. Yeah, come on. So, suo motu on its own motion, while being appraised of some other complaint, they go through the documents and they go through the submissions and they find, hey, this clearly auditor is also equally at fault. He is abetted. So, separate proceeding take against him for removal. Okay. Or either suo motu or on application by central government or on application by any person concerned. Any person could be a member, could be another director, any person, employees, any person concerned make an application to that. But when the application is made by central government, okay, then if tribunal is satisfied within 15 days of receipt of application, it shall order that he shall not function as auditor and central government may appoint another auditor. Okay, so invariably it will be only central government which will take it up. Nobody else will do it. It will be central government that will make. But still, any other person can also make. Then the tribe, see, in the case where the central government is making an application, quickly the tribunal will say, I'm satisfied. He will not function. Because content damage, because if he's allowed to function, he may destroy records. He may falsify. Therefore, send him out and you appoint another auditor from the panel. Or in any case, it may direct the company to change its auditors. No, but the point is, now that auditor is being removed and new auditor is being appointed on the basis of an order of the tribunal, and the consequence for the auditor are very serious. The removed auditor shall not be eligible to be appointed as auditor of any company for 5 years and will be liable for action under section 447. 447 is a very heavy penalty, 10 times, imprisonment, 10 years, all that. So, it's a very tough, okay, 447. Now, in the case of your firm, where there were more than one partner, there may be 5 partners, 6 partners, the liability shall be of the firm and that of every partner or partners who acted in a fraudulent manner or abetted or colluded in any fraud by or in relation to the company, directors or officers. So for a firm, there may be innocent partners who are not aware. If they can prove that they were not aware, that they didn't participate in this, they are free. But the firm as a whole is liable. So the firm has a bank account that can be attached. Individual partners are not liable. But those partners who have actively engaged, who have acted in a fraud, they are also liable. Okay. So this provision is without prejudice. That means in addition to any action under the provisions of this act or any other law for the time being enforced. So in addition to this, if you remember, NFRA can also take action. If you remember your NFRA provisions in accounts, one of the provision was NFRA can take up disciplinary proceeding. So there are also penalties there. So, which is why I said, any audit, see, they want it to be a deterrent. After Satyam, They don't want any auditor to ever even imagine in his life that he will or she will collude with the fraud. First, seriously, that one event has created so much impact on this entire chapter. But for Satyam, this section is not there in the Act. Earlier, it was not there. Okay. But they felt that there is a huge lacuna and they have not filled it. Okay. But again, if I may be permitted to say so, if I may be permitted, and I'm not trying to, make any arguments or anything. It's more, I want to direct your common sense. See, this provision is very important, sir. I totally agree. Auditor should be punished. Even you apply Islamic law to me, tie me in the meeting of four roads and whip me. Such punishments are there in Quranic law. Okay, whipping, okay, etc. Whipping, no. Cutting off the hand, cutting off the ear, and all. No problem. Okay, you apply such harsh law also where there's a fraud. But before that, let's really look at it. This is only closing the stable door after the horse has gone. Closing the stable door after the horse has gone. Am I correct? Now, during the company's running, such a listed company would have had independent directors or not. What were they doing? We are giving such a glory to those independent directors. They are all big people, Harvard, Stanford, big shots are coming as all highly moral, good people only are coming. Huh? No, what were they doing? If only the audit committee, what was it doing? If only they had been alert, the fraud would not have been committed. Right? So this is a bigger question that the entire corporate community has to examine its conscience and not just to jettison the whole problem to the auditor and say, auditors are fine. This is my own opinion. I'm not listening. Of course, see, if there is a collusion, punish. I am not questioning that at all. But I am saying punishing the auditor will only give limited satisfaction to the shareholders who have lost everything. If only that fraud could have been prevented. And this is the role that the independent directors are supposed to play within the boardroom. See, the auditor cannot enter the boardroom. The auditor comes later. He audits and he raises queries. He sees paper. See, there is a degree of opacity there. Seriously, opacity means, sir, I can only see, I can't see beyond it. I can see this, I can't see beyond it. So what you show me is what I can see. Unless you give me a transparent document, transparent glass sheet, I can see through it. But most of the time, board proceedings are opaque. The auditor is not given access, or by the time he has access, the documents are changed. He believes what he sees. Okay. And he signs. So my documentation is very clear. I asked you, you showed me, I satisfied myself. That's all. Like that. Anyway, it's a bigger subject. I'm not trying to confuse you, but to what? As far as you are concerned, strict procedure, it has to be followed. Fraud. Okay, is the point. Let us see if anybody is. So, yeah. So this is what it is all about. I didn't see any major question there. Some of you have expressed opinions. So, like, dislike, don't. See the logic, see the facts, form an opinion. That's all. Liking, disliking, don't like or dislike anybody. Okay. Have clear-cut reasons why you think they are wrong, or why you think they are great, or why you think they are right. That is the problem. Now we come to another question. Mr. Paramanand, do you notice you see the words all Anand, Anand, Anand? Just for the sake of fun. Sachidanand, Nityanand, Brahmanand, Paramanand. Now, Paramanand, the auditor of Fly-by-Night Operators Limited, discovers that the directors have quietly siphoned away the funds of the company through false bills and unauthorized fund transfers. What he should do immediately? He should document it, ask for explanation. If he doesn't get explanation, he should restate the profit and whatever he should. In fact, But this stage, what he should do, there's a further duty. We'll come to that. This stage, what Mr. Paramanand should do, there is a duty for him. We'll come to that a little later in 143. There's a duty. But right now, our friend Mr. Paramanand, possibly he discovered it, then he confronted them. Then the director said, Bhaiya, come, let's go for a evening out. So took him for a dinner, plied him with drinks and food, and said, what happened? You are a young man. You enjoy your life. We will pay you like that. So he thinks, okay, that is also correct. He colludes with the directors and issues a clean report for the year ended 31st March 2009, examining the legal consequences. Here, the answer is this. But the question is, when will central government come to know about it? Or any other person can also make an application. Only then this section is being triggered in there. You understand? Only then it is being triggered. This is a very, very double-edged question. First point, you should say, in case the central government comes to know about it, they can make an application. Or any member of the company may make an application to the tribunal. Tribunal is satisfied. Change the auditor, etc., etc., etc. This entire slide is the answer to this question. Plus, later, very shortly, today, because we have to complete the topic today, we will complete it. He has a duty. After having discovered a fraud, if he keeps quiet, he has a duty there. We'll see that also. Okay? Duty to inform the central government is there. Right? Yeah. But Mr. Nagaraja, your answer is very nice, but don't write this only in the exam. This is a good first line to begin the answer. But please, please, please write section 140, subsection 7 very clearly. Okay. And correct. All that you have to write. Then, absolutely, you will get marks. I will again mention Paramanand when we come to duty of auditor. Now we move on to resignation of auditor. Resignation. See, we already saw that resignation of auditor is a casual vacancy. And the casual vacancy of a resignation cannot be filled by the board. It can only be filled by the members within 3 months of recommendation by the board. We saw that. Correct? But this is when the auditor resigns, right? We have to file Form ADT 3 within 30 days. Okay? In the case of government company, you should file with the CAG, the company, and registrar. Because CAG is also involved because they have appointed you. Okay? CAG has appointed father, registrar, mother. Company is what you are auditing. So you have to inform CAG, company, and registrar. This ADT 3 is to be filed with the auditor. Friends, while on the one hand, auditors are coming under a lot of pressure and pain, the law has also given us a lot of protection. The earlier law did not protect me. Now, my resignation is a danger for these guys. The minute they come to me and arm twist me and try to make me, frighten me, I will simply say, okay, I will resign. And then in the form 83, I will give everything. You understand now? So that will keep him afraid about it, right? So form 83 is a very powerful weapon in the hands of the auditor. Because in that form, he will mention the reason. Got it? He instead of giving it in the form, he can say, I'm enclosing and write 3 pages notes and send it. In fact, before all this, under the old law, in 1995 or 93 or 94, around 95, around that time, a very big civil aviation company, the first batch of civil aviation company, I will not mention the name. Just to give you. Civil aviation companies. When you know the DGCA privatized the civil aviation. Got it? That is when so many companies. Now you are seeing Indigo and all that. Before that, there was one group. Jet Airways, NEPC, Jet Airways, our great man Vijay Mallya, Kingfisher, all that was there. Then this batch came. Indigo and SpiceJet and all came. And before that, there was one batch, NEPC and all that. Damania Airlines and all that. I'm talking about that era, when for the first time, post-liberalization, the civil aviation, passenger carry was, and whatever, the entire civil aviation was opened up. At that time, many people got licenses. One such company, it so happened, I only was auditors. Our firm was the auditor. So we were asked to, and that became a big problem. In fact, that one company I can use as a case study for oppression and mismanagement. In final, I used to use it. And everywhere I can use it. Management administration, I can use it. How a single shareholder holding 60% of the share capital can change the course of a meeting. Though he is one as against 5 in number, he is holding 60% of the share capital. Once he enters, even a proxy sent by him can change the meeting. All this you can study from that one case study. Beautiful case study. I wish I will write a case study of it one day. That was long ago, ages ago. Point is, at that time, Caro was there, Sierra Caro. And then, there was no tribunal. Instead, we had something called CLB, Company Law Board. The CLB, I had to go as a witness and I had to give my evidence. So they asked, what is your view? I said, look here, books are not there, books are maintained wrongly. I have made so many discoveries. Clearly, there is a siphoning of funds, etc., etc. Report it. Okay, I will report it. No, you have to give me you have to finalize the audit and give me an audit report. I said, how will I give this? The books of account is not there. No, you qualify. I said, sir, there should be some meaning in qualification. Books of account is not there. No, you make something, do something like that. They pass the order. Where within 45 days, the auditor has to audit and give his audit report. That's all. CLB over. Now I come back. Then the company and I were sitting. You see, now it is being controlled by a new guy who is willing to take it forward. But the old accounts, who will do it? I said, look here, sir, I will certify it for you. But I can't do a disclaimer also. I said, I'll give you a qualified report. Okay, you qualify. What else you want to do? So you won't believe, in Caro, there were at that time 13 classes, totally about 16 classes. Out of that, 13 classes I qualified. 13 qualifications. In Caro itself, the main report was also qualified. Everything qualified and I gave. Okay. So I'm just giving this example to you. And of course, that company, then it never went off. It flew well. But then it made a lot of money. Money was siphoned. Then it got destroyed and gone. Nobody will even know the name if I tell. But it was one of the earliest civil aviation license holders. When the Director General of Civil Aviation opened up the civil aviation, space for private operators, one of the earliest license holders was this company. But that, everybody went off. NEPC, you name it, Damania, none of them are there now. East, West. These are all big names at that time. Now you don't even know who they are. If I ask you to name, airline companies, immediately you'll say Air India, Indigo, SpiceJet. Only these 3 you will know. Of course, you will say ICAI. That's about all. Okay. Those days, there were easily 10 of them running around. It was bonanza for passengers. Paramount, so many. You are spoiled for choice. And they will give you dinners, all sorts of things. They will do Kingfisher. They will give fantastic dinner. Flying was a pleasure at that time. The jet, of course, was slightly costlier, but they used to give a royal treatment to you and all that. Anyway, so at a very reasonable price, compared to the earlier prices. Prices simply plummeted and came down. Okay, so ADT3 is a very powerful weapon in the hands of the auditor, and he has to file it within 30 days. Sir, non-filing of ADT3 is an offense. So you can't simply send a resignation letter and run away. You'll have to file Form ADT3, wherein you have to clearly mention why. Why? If the auditor does not comply with the provisions relating to resignation, he or it shall be liable to a penalty of 50,000 rupees or an amount equal to the remuneration of the auditor. And in case of continuing failure, with further penalty of 500 rupees for each day after the first during which such failure continues, subject to a maximum of 2 lakh rupees. Okay, so Even for this, they are telling, no, auditor, do something, yeah. Make life miserable for it. So first thing we do when we resign, rarely we resign. Okay. Or most cases it's all mutually accepted where I want to get out. And so I tell him, boss, I will resign. Get a new guy, resign, take it. Because your accounts are so bad, I have to qualify it. I don't want to do it. If I will qualify, if you force me, I will qualify. Otherwise, I will resign. You get somebody who's amenable to you in whatever way. Let him sign, not my problem. I give a resignation, I'll file Form 883. I'll say for professional reasons and I'll go. That much I can do for you. I will do. So long as there is no fraud, it's only a matter of opinion, according to me. What you have done is against the law. Representation wise, disclosure wise, I want to do it this way. You don't want to do it that way. That is wrong. I will not permit you. Many times, they'll play with debtors and all that. They will provisioning and all that they play. Then I can't play that game with me. Yeah. I have to make the provision. If you don't allow me to make the provision, I will qualify. It's up to you. Okay. So then issues become such that they may say, no, sir, if you will make it. Okay, I'll resign. No problem. Then immediately, the minute the resignation is done, immediately next day, within 48 hours, we'll file the 883. Am I correct? Why should we get into trouble? Yeah. 50,000 rupees, not a big amount, but why? And more importantly, it will amount to a conviction of an offense under the Companies Act. As a practicing CA, why have conviction? To file it. Here, if by chance your material will clearly have 2 lakh rupees, still, if you are having 5 somewhere, please note, it has been changed. Okay. The material has been amended and corrected up to date. So it is the faculty team at the Board of Studies is working extraordinarily hard for you. They are doing a yeoman service of monitoring the law, every change, updating it for the exam. They work hard at it. And you'll find that the material is more than sufficient for your exam preparation. No need for any other study, shall we say, book for this subject. For this subject, no need. Except old question papers and our material, nothing else you need. And of course, now that you are attending my lectures, for those topics where I have covered, my PowerPoint presentations are there. Please use it. In fact, the older PowerPoint, all the topics, PowerPoint presentations have been uploaded. Maybe they may need a little updation. Note, from 22 to now, I don't really see any major updation needed. Not much. And you can take it. It is there in the portal, download it. Because many students come to me and I meet them in odd places. Because I travel, this year my travel was restricted due to my father's health. And generally I couldn't travel much. I used to travel across the world and across the country. So I have students in Kashmir, I'm not joking, in Ayodhya. I have one excellent student in Ayodhya, down south, the east, west, everywhere we have students. So they used to tell, suddenly I was in Vijayawada. One gentleman came, sir, I studied I watched your video lectures and I downloaded your material, sir. In spite of that, I passed. In spite of that, I said, in spite of my lecture, you have passed. Very good. And why I'm saying, you can download it and read it. Okay. Correct. Who will file 883? Navneet ji, auditor. 883 responsibility is with auditor. Note it. Good question. Thanks for the question. 883 to be filed by the auditor within 30 days. He has to file with company, CAG, in the case of government company, and the MCA, you upload it in the portal. For MCA, you upload it in the portal. Okay. Correct. Okay. Yeah. See, the consequences are very serious, my dear friends. Believe me. See, I am not against making things tough for an auditor when he is fraudulent. Nothing wrong. Okay. Because fraud, you should protect the public because public are relying on our certificate. when a chartered accountant signs an audit report or any paper, any certificate, the world believes it. So our entire edifice of our profession, even in service, believe me, even when you are employed by a company, your level will be higher than that of other departments. As a CFO, finance head, manager taxation, manager indirect tax, like that. Whatever your role, you will be more treated like a consultant and an expert rather than as a colleague. You will see that respect from the colleagues. So when we say something, it is believed by the world. They believe us because we are professionals. See, the only other profession which can work is advocate. Rarely you'll find a doctor working in a non-medical activity. Whereas here, some of us are going to be engaged in operations, in manufacturing companies, in service companies. See, you'll rarely see an auditor in a line, a doctor in a staff function. Yeah. In no hospital, all the doctors would be directly in the line. That is, they would be the consultants and surgeons. Whereas only in companies, we will be staff. Whereas the operations guys and the marketing guys will be the line. Okay. So they would be running the company. We are helping them to run the company, right? So when that role is being played also, the respect is very high. So while a practicing chartered accountant only who is an auditor of the company can be punished under this section, believe me, as my friends, I think somebody was mentioning, the Institute Code of Ethics is wider and it covers members in service also, code of conduct. And if there is a violation there, such a member can be debarred and not allowed to be a member, etc., etc. But you see, the pain is less for a member in service. Say, let us say the institute debars him. What's going to happen? You'll go away. Still, company will hire him. No company writes to the institute to ask whether the gentleman is a member or not. That should come. In fact, sir, I'm a certified information systems auditor. In the US, no company will hire a CISA without verifying with ISACA whether his membership is in good standing. If the membership is not in good standing, if a certification is not valid, then he will not be hired as an employee. Whereas in India, once the qualification is acquired, first 3 years, maybe the gentleman or lady will be a little attached to it. After that, what institute, Mr. Srikanth? I don't even go there. I'm not aware. Like that, you should not speak. The institute is your mother. If whatever you are earning, it is because of the institute. Even if you are in service, you are the CFO of the most big multinational company, take pride in the fact that you are a member of our institute, pay the dues, and feel proud that you are a member of the institute. You might not understand the relevance of it now, because for you, the membership is very important. And you will work hard and you'll finish the final, you'll get the certificate, and you'll feel so proud for 3 years. Thereafter, the job will be there and everything is assured. Nobody is really asking you for. They trust you. If you say I'm a member, they trust you because anyway the pass certificate is there. Final pass certificate is what is it? Membership certificate. No, they won't ask. Nobody will ask. I mean, sort of. And after about 10 years, 15 years, they don't even care whether it's here or not, because so long as you have the requisite experience, they're happy. Okay. And they see your CV. Your CV will be more important. The CV should speak. So, hey, make this elaborate comment now. Please, just don't. Even if you're not going to be a member in practice like me, if you're going to be a member in service also, have pride about our institute. Be proud that you are a member and be a member. Don't avoid paying your membership dues when they come up for payment. Ask your employer to bear it as one of the perquisites. Ask them to pay and be proud about it. My humble request. Okay, so remuneration of auditors. So there's a separate section. Earlier there was no section. Simply at the time of reappointing, we will say to appoint or reappoint the auditors retiring and to fix their remuneration. So this is the subject matter of the annual general meeting or any general meeting where he is appointed. So the simple point, remuneration of auditors is fixed by managing director, board of directors, shareholders in general meeting, company in general meeting, central government. No, the correct answer is company in general meeting. Okay. In case of first auditor, the board fixes the remuneration because the first auditor is appointed by the board. Correct? He holds office till the conclusion of the first annual general meeting. Thereafter, it is only the members. Remuneration shall include facilities and expenses incurred for audit. Remuneration shall exclude fees earned for any services offered at request of company. So, other than the prohibited 144 prohibited services, you can render many other services. I already mentioned it now. You can be the tax auditor, you can be a tax advisor. You do all these things. Nothing. What you are not supposed to do, 144. Other than that, you can do. And those fees will not come under this remuneration category. For that, board itself can fix the fee. Now we move on to powers and duties of auditors. Yeah, the auditor can always, if he so desires, resign. Can resign. I have, in 2 cases, suo motu, I have resigned. Where the company wanted me to continue, I said, no, I am not. Take my resignation, ADT3, you appoint somebody else. That's your problem, though. I don't care who. Once you identify that gentleman or lady or firm, ask them to send a request to give NOC immediately. Okay, that's what we said. Rarely. Why not? It's after all a contract. I want to resign, I can resign. Like that, some audits have come to me. Easily about 6-7 audits have come to me because of health reasons. Some auditors would have resigned. Death cases have come to me. Casual vacancy. They will come to me. And resignation due to health. Resignation due to settling abroad. All these senior members, they don't want to stop practicing. They have files. They are able to take it up also. Then they go abroad because the children are all abroad. They go abroad. They think that from there they can control this audit. A lot of issues are there. So the owners feel the board and even the it's not happening. So they will approach us because they know our firm. So they will come to us. And the reason they'll say is this. So then I'll say, please ask him to resign. I will take it up. And NOC, take it up. So this is the procedure. Before you accept any audit, especially corporate company audit, also it's a courtesy, any audit, any assignment, before you accept it, it is Code of Ethics says that we have to write to the other member who was the earlier professional handling this, asking him whether he has any objection. The reason is twofold. One, there may be some fees which is due to him. Now this client, quietly without paying that fees, may be shifting to us. No. First of all, if I write to him, he will say, I vote fees. So as a brother in the profession, it is my duty to ensure that he gets his money. It's my duty. Secondly, I should be warned. This company is doing fraud like that to him. They will do to me next year. So this is another warning to me about the company's intentions and honorableness. Secondly, if there are any issues which cannot be stated in writing, this gives an opportunity to him to even call me over the phone and tell me this problem is there, be careful. That is why I'm resigning. You can say that. Thereafter, whether to take or not is my call. But it gives them. Rarely it has been used. Once it has happened for me, where the auditor called me and he said, sir, your views are taken. I will definitely put it into account in case I need to. If I feel it's not what, I will also not take up this case. Okay. But similarly, I resigned in one case, I gave to the other gentleman got it. He called me. Sir, it's your case. You are a senior. Can I take it up? I said, boss, well and good, take it up. But remember, he owes me fees. At least in your case, don't allow him to escape without paying the fees. Like that, I told him. You collect my fees and give it. It's your charge. So he ensured that my fees came. But I told him the reason he went is because of the fees. He didn't want to pay, he went. So be careful. So these are all things that one professional can tell to another professional in this process. Okay. So powers of auditors. Powers. Okay, you can say rights. Every auditor shall have the right of access. Access means you can see the books anytime, at all times. The word at all times is used to the books of account and vouchers of the company, whether kept at the registered office of the company or at any other place. Even if it's kept at some other place, the statutory auditor has the right to visit and have access. See, the word at all times is used, but it's qualified. You cannot go at midnight and ask. So during office hours are reasonable time. See, there are times when for completing the audit, we work beyond midnight. After all, it is in the interest of the client to cooperate. So they will bring. So we will work till late in the night. This is the season when we will work till 2 a.m. in the morning and to finalize the audits. At all times. So nothing wrong in saying at all times. Because when it is convenient for them, we have to work at all times. But when I want, I cannot access. So I can also access it at all times. Okay. So entitled to have necessary information and explanation. Friends, client gives the accounts to me, ledger, journals, etc., etc. They also throw the vouchers. Here, take the vouchers. Go through it. 40,000 rupees, 40,000. Nowadays, nobody does that. Okay. We use totally different online techniques to audit, to filter transactions, and we try to see discrepancies in transactions, etc. A lot of today AI-based audit is there. So the point we are trying to make is, so the techniques are now totally different. Good, gone are the days when you had a green pencil and you put tick, all that is over. So even as early as 1999, 98, 99, I used to lecture on information systems audit, and I used to say the audit is no longer by tick, it is by click. Okay? That was 98. Today, not even that. We send a program into the RDBMS, into the database itself directly, we access and we ask queries and we filter and we look at the transactions. And then we say, these transactions show me. So the vouchers and papers are given. But even after seeing that, for example, 5 crore received from one company, entry is there, 5 crore has come to the bank, tick. Can I do that? No. I should ask, what is this 5 crore? Why he gave? For what purpose you took? Etc. Is there any underlying documentation? So they give me that. It's still not clear. What do I do? Then I have to ask for information and explanation. See, there's on the face of it, 5 crore bank entry is there, everything is fine. No, what is it? Sir, it's a loan, sir. Show me the loan agreement. So seems, sir. Now the question comes, why did you borrow? What was the justification for this money? More importantly, what did you do with it? This 5 crore came. Where did it go? I have asked. There are many questions in Caro that have binding on this. Okay. So I would ask for what purpose it was utilized. Because you should not take short term and use it for long term. So what was the purpose of that loan? Right. So this and further explanation also may be needed. I'm giving a vague explanation. I'm giving a vague example. There are so many concrete examples I can give, but that will be more relevant for you in auditing, where transaction is there. I have to go beyond the transaction, ask for informational explanation, and satisfy myself that what is substance over form, what is happening, and the reality of what's happening. So just because there is a debit entry for a payment, we cannot take it just like that. It's revenue or capital. If so, then again we have to see which sections are impacted, like that. See, just day before last week, I was finalizing an audit where there was a 9 crore credit liability. Okay, received from an LLP. No, these are serious implications. From your knowledge of company itself, you can tell me. Out of my topic question, any amount received by a company from an LLP, any amount received by a company from an LLP, limited liability partnership, will it be treated as a deposit or not? Any amount received by a company, private, public, blah, blah, it doesn't matter. Small, big, it doesn't matter. Any amount received by a company from the limited liability partnership, will it be treated as a deposit or not? Is it a deposit or not? Under the definition, under the deposits acceptance rules 2014, companies acceptance deposits rules 2014, clause 2. Will it be a deposit or not? Just a casual question. Don't get angry with me. Syed Hussain says it's a deposit. Kuldeep Nagar says it's a deposit. Mustafa Mr. says no. Adil no. Sir, this is given as a loan. Hello, Anil, I never said that it is an investment. It is not an investment. It is a loan. Question is whether the amount is a deposit under the deposit rules. Many of you have told no, be careful. On what basis you are telling no? One of you or any one of you say, what is the reasoning? See, in the examination, unfortunately, no, they will not give you marks if you write yes, no. Reasoning. Those who said no, give me one reason. Uh-huh. It's a debenture. Sir, clearly I'm telling, sir, simple question, Mr. Mustafa, straightforward question. A loan has been received from an LLP. Will it be treated as a deposit or not? What more facts you want? You want me the name of the LLP, name of the company? So we can give you XYZ Limited receives a loan of rupees 5 crore from X and Co, an LLP. Will this be treated as a deposit under the access and deposits rules? No, you tell me. Facts are given. Actually, what was being tested is your knowledge of the exempted deposits. Definition of deposits, it has, these are not deposits like that. Will this come in that category is what you have to see. Okay. 336 comes later. If you say it's a deposit, then only conditions are all coming. It should not be less than 6 months or not less than 3 months, etc. 36 months. All that comes later. Anyway, not far be from me any intention to get into a topic which is not my topic. But you are able to see now, there are so many things that I have to ask as an auditor. I can't blindly go and say everything is fine. Everything has to be seen. There's a deposit implication here. So I have to see the loan agreement. If the minute you say it's a loan, gone, it's a deposit. Because exemption is there only for any amount received by a company from another company. The exemption is not there for LLP. Correct. But then you also should be ready with the answer. No, I'm asking a question which is from your syllabus. This could come in the exam as a question. Nothing wrong. Because it tests your knowledge of whether you know the exemptions which are not deposits. There are any amount received from a person who at the time of receipt of the amount was a director of the company. Are you able to understand? Any amount received by one company from another, any loan received by one company from another company, their LLP is not there. Therefore, any amount received from an LLP will be treated as a deposit and with the consequences, etc., etc. So this is the correct answer in case some of you are interested. ICD exempt, but LLP is not exempted. Intercompany deposit exempted, but LLP not exempted. Okay. So yeah, it's a kind of revision also. Nothing wrong. See, and also to say, you cannot have compartmentalized silo approach to the examination, where you cannot say that question should be only on this topic, that question should be only on that topic. They will mix topics and ask. So you have to be prepared. One topic may have an implication from another topic. So don't immediately rush and say this is this topic only. There could be another topic implication also. Okay. Anyway, I have taken off from a part which is very, very informational explanation. Sir, as futures auditors or article clerks also, I think you may join the articles later only, or if you're already doing articles, document it. It is not enough if you ask the question. It should be in writing. The reply should be received. Then your opinion should be documented. How did you come to the conclusion? That should be documented and kept in the file. Then finally, when you're going for discussion with the client, we give these points we have to qualify, or we have to put a note, disclosure, whatever. Or this is a violation of the Companies Act. These are the penal consequences. Like that, you have to send a note. Then we receive a final reply from the client, and then we proceed. Okay. I'm very happy that you're attending from your office. So I'm happy to know that. I agree. The job is tough. All of us have a tough jobs. Okay. I appreciate your willingness to learn and grow. Thank you. Now coming to this point is over. The documentation, be careful. That's all. Now comes subsidiaries. Now, the auditor of a company, which is a holding company, shall also have the right of access to the records of all its subsidiaries. Be careful, insofar as it relates to the consolidation of its financial statements with that of its subsidiaries. Because the final, for the holding company, there is a CFS, consolidated financial statement. That CFS is going to be certified by the auditor of the holding company. To that extent, the auditor has the right to go through the subsidiaries. Where any of the subsidiary is not complying with accounting or Ind AS or whatever, the auditor of the holding company at the time of consolidation can redraft it. Because he has to certify the consolidated. So he can redraft it and say, I am reclassifying it this way and disclose it. So to that extent, he has the right to access to the records of the subsidiary. But this right cannot be misused. See, client, this is where, the client also get irritated if the auditor keeps on, wasting time. At one stage, you will say, hey, whatever protection you're giving me is not worth the pain that you're causing for me. Bye. So we should protect, but painlessly we should protect. There should not be too much pain. Is the point. The pain should be as limited as possible. Can a company make investment into its subsidiary? It can make. Why should it not make into subsidiary, Baba? What is the problem? You make any amount of further investments you make. What is that? Yeah. A holding company can always make investments in subsidiary. In fact, later on, when you complete final, you will study section 186. There you will find intercorporate loans and investments. Now, one of the exemption is that section will not apply to an investment made by a company, holding company in its only one subsidiary. In its subsidiary, anyway, it won't apply. So it can make in its subsidiary. Nothing wrong. Why not? Now, this is a little boring area. I will rush through it a little bit fast because two reasons why I'm rushing through it. One, this may not be tested here in company law. Two, the chances are it will be tested in auditing. Some of you could have even read it in auditing. I don't know about your mix of topics. So in case you already cleared auditing group or it is part of this group, I'm not aware. I don't want to be aware. Exam only you had read. I've already written this examination, cleared it. I'm only a teacher teaching the topic. Okay. In fact, the results have come. Some people were calling me, how are the results, Mr. Srikanth? Then what do I care? I'm a member of the institute. The students have to be worried about the result. In fact, whether the results are easy or tough, Baba, I cleared or not, that is the only concern for me. How does it matter that the result was good or bad? Overall result, how do I care? If I am a student, I'll be worried that I should pass. Am I correct or not? My friend should pass. That's all I'm concerned about. What is my problem? Whether 3%, 5%, 10%. So long as I'm in that 10%, I'm happy. That is all. Our goal should be. That is why many times I used to tell people, our exam is not a competitive exam. It is a qualifying exam. If you clear those marks, you are a member. It's not competitive. See, IIT is competitive. CAT is competitive. IAS is competitive. Where so many people will write. Based on the ranks only, they will get the job. Here, no. Once you clear, you become a member of the institute. Welcome. Do whatever you want. That happens. So ours is a qualifying exam, not a competitive exam. So we don't have to care about other people. So long as you write, you get 15, overall aggregate 40 plus and more. Or pass. Enjoy. That's all. So, sir, this time the results were very tough. You cleared now. Be happy. That's all. Okay. You be worried about you. Don't bother about other people. Why are you bothered? Cleared. Results are tough. Paper correction or stuff. With all that, you cleared now. In fact, that used to be my goal. Toughest correction. Toughest paper. I should get 60. Toughest correction. Toughest paper. I should get 60. That's all. Who can then wait? This is a view. Don't get angry with me for expressing this view, but this is my view. And I can hold it. Because every exam I ever wrote, this was my goal. I don't care about whether the correction is tough or not, easy or not. I don't care whether the paper is tough or easy. First paper I should be able to get 60. First correction I should be able to get 60. That way I should perform. Then why I should be bothered of other people? This is not arrogance. This is not arrogance. This is the attitude Srikanth had before he wrote the exam. Before he wrote the exam. Afterward, he cleared with the rank and all that comes later. But before, have that confidence. Don't bother about the results. Paper correction is very tough. Let it be. Even the worst examiner should see your paper and give marks and go. Right like that. See, after all, the examiner is not some thing, yeah. If the answer is correct and it suits the thing, maximum what they will do, where normally they give 3.5 for 4, they will give 2.5 for 4. Got it? Like that. So it can happen. Sometimes some papers could be tough. Still, if your preparation is focused and you have concentrated on high density areas, chances are high that you will get questions that you know. It will be tough, but it will be there. So there will be some vague questions. Anyway, it's a choice pattern. No? So you'll be able to play around it and easily you can get 55 to 60. Definitely. Okay. Think like that. Don't get angry with me. Your view may be different. You may be having other attitudes. I'm not going to question that attitude, but I'm saying try to develop this attitude of not bothering about exam, paper, you, kalam, kagas. That's all. Win the game. Don't bother about anything else. Okay. Okay. So this is part of auditing. So the auditor shall inquire into the following matters, namely, whether loans and advances made by the company on the basis of security have been properly secured, and whether the terms on which they have been made are prejudicial to the interest of the company or its members. So this is where merely giving the transaction data is not enough. We need an informational explanation. Whether transactions of the company, which are represented merely by book entries, are prejudicial to the interest of the company. Prejudicial means not in the good interest of the company. Prejudicial, against the company's interest. Okay. Where the company, not being an investment company or a banking company, whether so much of the assets of the company has consist of shares, debentures, or other securities have been sold at a price less than that which they were purchased. See, if you sell it at a profit, we have no problem. If you are selling it at a loss, the auditor should inquire. But the exemption is investment or banking company for whom their nature of business will be purchase and sale of shares and debentures. So as part of their business activity, they will be constantly purchasing and selling. So they might make loss also once in a while. But non-investment, non-banking company, why you are selling the share at a discount? Tell me why. What was the justification? We have to inquire. Friends, you'll also notice one important point here. This particular subsection only requires the auditor to make an inquiry. There is no reporting requirement here. Whereas in CARO, there is a reporting requirement also. The company's auditors report order. This is not enough if you ask the question. Whatever the answer you have to report, you have to give the answer to that question. But here, they are only questions. I have to call the direct. Of course, in the standard audit program, we will give it. And they will also say, no, 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 no. We will keep it in our audit working paper. I don't have to report it to the shareholders. Got it? But CARO, not only should I ask, I should verify and find out and satisfy myself. And if I find that there is any discrepancy, report. Otherwise, I should give clean report in CARO. Okay. Whether loans and advances made by the company have been shown as deposits. See, there is something about deposits that make them seem safer than loan or advance. See, what many people don't appreciate is that deposits are unsecured. But still, in the balance sheet, on the asset side, when a company has made any loans and advances, it should not be classified as deposits. It should be only shown as loans and advances, unless it is a deposit. Otherwise, it should be shown only as loans and advances. Whether personal expenses have been charged to revenue account, this we know. personal expenses have been charged to revenue. See, here it's only an inquiry. In CARO, you have to confirm where it is stated in the books and documents of the company that any shares have been allotted for cash, whether cash has actually been received in respect of such allotment. And if no cash has been received, whether the position as stated in the account books in the balance sheet is correct. Hence here, I won't tell which company, one of the companies long ago, the same 90s range. And I just started practice in 1991, sort of 5 years down the line. Not yet. The experience is not there, but still careful. We have to be careful. Like that, we are thinking. One company, we took up the audit. I took up the audit and saw the books of account. See, the promoter, every week he will deposit, in those days, the big amount I'm talking. Every week he'll deposit 1 to 2 lakhs. Every week. 1 to 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, cash. So, sorry, not in the bank. In the cash column, there will be entry for receipt of cash. And those were times when there was no penalty for taking cash. Okay. Share capital itself will come. Then what they will do for that cash, right, coming in, they will credit share capital. They will allot shares. Cash account data to share capital. Agreed. Cash came. Then that day or within another 2 to 3 days, that amount will be shown as expenditure. This expense, that expense, advertisement, etc., etc. Close. Then at the end of the period, now about 9 months down the line, in this manner, 1 crore capital was raised. Whether cash was actually received, we do not know, because cash now, there is no trail. Where will I check? What is the only proof I have? The expense. So I said, show me the vouchers. They are all looking clearly bogus. Something is there. And all. Then finally I concluded, no cash was received and no cash was paid. These are all cooked up entries for building the share capital. Right, that conclusion. Okay. So that is also one of the qualifications I spoke about. Okay. So the auditor, while making the report, shall take into account the provisions of the Act, the accounting and auditing standards, and matters which are required to be included in the audit report, etc., etc. Okay. The auditor shall express his opinion on the accounts and financial statements. Shall express his opinion. See, you cannot avoid expressing an opinion, but you can give a clean, qualified. You can even give a disclaimer, but that's not an opinion. Disclaimer is I'm unable to comment. How that can be an opinion? But disclaimer is allowed. I can say, okay, I cannot form an opinion based on this. He shall express an opinion that according to him and to the best of his information and knowledge, whether the said accounts, financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the company. So, it is the primary duty of the board of directors to ensure that the accounts give a true and fair view. The auditor is now confirming that the accounts give a true and fair. They confirm, he reconfirms that they give a true and fair at the end of the financial year, and profit and loss account and cash flow for the year, and such other matters as may be prescribed. So this is the basic opinion that he gives. According to him and to the best of his information and opinion. That is why it's an opinion. See, opinion always is individual, sir. There cannot be collective opinions. Each individual has an opinion. When many of us together have one same opinion, it's still my opinion is my opinion. It so happens you're also having the same opinion, happy. But opinion is good. Facts are different. I can't have one fact, you can't have another fact. All of us have to come. See, whatever is a fact will be common for all of us. Opinions may collide, opinions may combine, but my opinion is my opinion. You may not form similar opinion from the same facts. Okay. But by and large, when the facts are clear, then almost the same opinion only has to be expressed by all. Okay. Information means what I can verify with my ability. Okay. Knowledge is where you tell me and I come to know. Okay. I'm sorry. Information is where you tell me and I come to know. Knowledge is where I myself verify and check. See, 5 crore rupees came through the bank. It's my knowledge. Why? Because you don't have to inform me. I can go to the bank statement, check it out. Whether the money came from such and such a person. Okay, like that. So in fact, if you ask me in a different angle now, a good audit would increase the level of knowledge and reduce the level of information. Wherever possible, obtain the data, check and have knowledge. But where it's too late, then you can go for information and records like that. Okay. It's a very, very delicate thing. Be very careful. Whether he has sought and obtained all the informational explanations which to the best of his knowledge and belief were necessary. See, this is where Satyam will get caught, auditor will get caught. So the real question is not whether you took an informational explanation, you took. Did you get all the informational explanation? He is saying the FDs are there. Fixed deposits are there. Did you collect confirmation from the bank independent of this guy? He is providing you with a fixed deposit receipt. Agreed. You can take that, yeah. Agreed. You write to the bank. Ask the bank to confirm in the letterhead with a signature. All the items are there. Or ask the concerned manager of the branch to send a mail from his official email address and keep it. Then it is all the information. Then you can say, the bank, it's confirmed that this FD is there. Okay. They cannot because the FD is not there. The minute you send this FD certificate to the bank, you are gone. They are gone. But then this auditor did not do it now. He knows very well. If I send this fixed deposit receipt to the bank, they will immediately deny about it. That means he kept quiet. So he has not obtained all the informational expression. So that is why I've stressed the word all. Okay. Whether in his opinion, proper books of account as required by law have been kept by the company, so far as appears from his examination of those books, and proper returns adequate for the purpose of audit have been received from branches. In a short while, we will take up the audit of branches. And when we do that, we will see. Branch auditor, the statutory auditor will not visit the branch, need not visit the branch. You can have a branch auditor. If so, then returns have to be received from the branch in same time. And the branch auditor will report to the statutory auditor. And that's it. No need for another audit of the branch. Okay. Whether the audit report on the accounts of any branch office of the company audited under Section 8 by a person other than the company's auditor. See, where the company's auditor is visiting the branch and auditing, no problem. Suppose there is a branch auditor, then his report will be submitted to the statutory auditor, not to the members. The branch auditor will not report to the members. He will report only to the statutory auditor. His report has to be taken into account, dealt with in my report. That's all. And I have to confirm that I have dealt with it. Okay. This is a big story. I don't have time. I may be able to tell you or not. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. If I get a chance in branch auditors, that. Whether the company's balance sheet and books of account are in agreement with the books of account. Shame, yeah. Balance sheet and P&L account are in agreement. That is why finally we will take one final tally or one final set of the accounts and lock that accounts so that they cannot change it anymore. We have that procedure in our firm. We go to the client's office after the audit is over, after the AGM, the accounts are adopted. Then we go to the client's office and we see whether whatever we have signed in the balance sheet now, that should be the closing balance in the books, and that should become the opening balance for the next year. We will see to it that is done. Whichever software, I don't care. Then the last year's accounts I will lock. Lock means I will see to it that it cannot be modified further. That's all. You can't make any more modification. Okay. One more thing is also there. Suppose they cook up some balance sheet and put signed so-and-so partner, corporation, Natarajan and all, and they provide it to the bank. Bank gives money based on that. Later on, the bank finds that they have defrauded by giving false information. They can, of course, they will go to NFRA, blah, blah, and they will call Srikanth, auditor, call him. Like that. NFRA, come. Then I'll ask them, so what's the problem? No. See this balance sheet? It is not agreeing with the books. You have signed it. G, what you see there is only signed SD. Can you please show me a balance sheet which is actually signed by the directors and me? If you have, please show. No, nonsense. You are an auditor. Don't talk nonsense. Send him to prison. Wait a minute. Here is the balance sheet signed by the directors. Their signatures are on it. My signature is also there now. Now see that. Is that tallying with these books? Yes. I have certified only that. So this is the balance sheet referred to in my report as of even date. Are you able to understand? In the balance sheet now, when you're signing, the auditor will say, this is the balance sheet referred to in my report as of even date. So that is why every balance sheet of every company we sign every year, whichever partner signs it, it is a duty to take signed copy and keep it. Sign, pakka, normal physical sign or digitally sign. I have no problem. Digital sign, whatever it is. That signed document should be in our records. So that tomorrow, if I'm called by NFR, I'll say, no, he is showing some document. He's saying that is the balance sheet I signed. Nah, it's up to you to decide. See here, this is what I signed. Ask him to show that document with my signature on it. He's produced a balance sheet to the bank now. That is not signed by me. It says signed. Ask him to produce that where I have signed, either digitally or physically. Show him. Ask him to show. That's all. And then I will not go away. I will tell NFRA, hello, brother NFRA, come here. When I am doing something, you will penalize me now. Now, this fellow has made a false complaint against me now. What are you going to do to him? What are they going to do to the bank? Bank has to pay me compensation for my name. Public notice they have to give. We apologize for the complaint made against such and such a firm. And pay me for my cost. My advocate fee, everything has to be paid by them. Okay? I won't say that. My lawyer will say that. I mean, so it's not as if you have to be always worried. When you are clean, you can fight and win. Okay, is my belief. Whether in his opinion, the financial statements comply with the accounting standards, we already know this. The observations or comments of the auditors on financial transactions or matters which have any adverse effect on the functioning of the company. Whether any director is disqualified from being appointed as a director under subsection 2 of section 164. Section 164 subsection 2 is not in your syllabus. Later on, when you are studying for final on your own in the self-paced module, you may read this, wherein you will find that if your company does not file the annual return and balance sheet for 3 consecutive financial years, then the directors will be disqualified. So what you are certifying here is for this company, whether for the immediately preceding 3 financial years, annual return and balance sheet have been filed. Because if it has not been filed for 3 consecutive financial years, all the directors of that company will get disqualified from being appointed as an auditor of any other company. Okay. So, see, so we are just ensuring that no director of this company is disqualified. So all the auditors of all the companies will give the certificate. If any auditor finds it disqualified, he will mention. Then the Ministry of Corporate Affairs will take action. Thereby, the director cannot be appointed again as director in any other company. And he will also be vacating office in all other companies where he is a director other than this company. Okay. This is not in your syllabus. I'm just giving this. Any qualification, reservation, or adverse mark will be mentioned. Whether the company has adequate internal financial controls with reference to financial statements in place and the operating effectiveness. This is the recent introduction. Okay. Such other matters. Where any of the matters is answered in the negative or with the qualification, the auditor's report shall state the reason for the same. Okay. I'll quickly complete this topic and take up your questions. See, 143.3i. 143.3i. I'm not giving a break today because the topic has to be completed. So I'm not giving a break today. I hope that's okay. If you want to have a break, we'll see. Let's see. Maybe a little bit later. We'll see. Only I. Your honors will please note, only I. For I alone, there is an exemption. That is, the auditor, whether the company has adequate internal financial controls with reference to financial statements. See, the finalization of the accounts and financial statements, whether there is internal control. Maker, checker, who prepares, who checks, all that. Okay. So, this will be done only from 1/4/2015. Okay. Okay. On or after. Okay. Before that, no. In case somebody wants to do it voluntarily, they can do so for 15 March also. See, they introduced this section in 2013, 14, so that they originally thought they could make it applicable to year ended 14, 15, but it became a problem. Nobody was ready, blah, blah, blah. So they said, no, it's not applicable. Only after 1/4, that means only 2016 accounts will come. But if you want to do it voluntary for March also, you can. Okay. But again, they are talking about 2014, 15. Believe these are all 10 years old material. Am I still worried about this? No. Private company is exempted from 143(3)(I). If it is an OPC or small company, it has a turnover of less than 50 crores. It has aggregate borrowings from banks, etc., less than 25 crores. Okay, at any point in time during the financial year, your honors will please note it. Not at the end of the year, at any point of time. Peak also we have to see. If the peak has been 25 crore, then also it is applicable. But less than 25 crore throughout, then 143(3)(I) will not apply. Again, your honors will note 143(3)(I) only will not apply. Okay. So the auditor's report shall also give statement about the litigation, pending litigation on its financial position, has made provision as required under any law or AS for material foreseeable losses, if any, on the long-term contracts, including derivative. See, derivative contract, the strike date will be there. But before that itself, the contract might have gone into loss, in which case there is a bookable loss on the premium that you paid for the, if it's an option. If it is a future, it's a huge loss. How has it been taken down? Foreseeable loss. But it won't occur now. It will occur only on the strike date. But as on the balance sheet date, it is there. Right? Has delayed in transferring amounts required to be transferred to the IEPF by the company. We remember IEPF? On the expiry of 7 years, you have to transfer it now. Whether that has been correctly transferred, we have to certify. So we have to be careful that. So for all this, what you should do now, you should raise a question. There should be a questionnaire. Did the company declare any dividend during the, or you should have a summary of dividend declared by the company. Ideally, what we do now, we have a schedule for this, where year after year we track 3 years, whether transferred, all that. So that will be taken and kept in the document. So if anybody asks, you say, look here, sir, complete for the last, till not even before I took over as auditor, I have gone through it and verified and ensured that all the amounts have been transferred to the IEPF. So it is not enough if you say I have seen. You should give proof. How did you see? How did you satisfy yourself? Did you verify it? See, once you know the provisions of the law, auditing is very easy. So, company audit cannot be done by a person who does not know company law. Got my point? So, company audit requires extremely good knowledge of company law, which is why this subject becomes very important for a chartered accountant. Which is why this subject can never become a non-core subject for you. Even if the institute feels that it can be self-paced. Remember, if you are going to be a practicing chartered accountant, your knowledge of this subject should be very strong. Okay. On this LLP part, you won't believe, when I made, the first time I made this observation in the audit, one company secretary sent a mail back saying LLP, amount received from LLP is exempted as a deposit. I said, how do you say this? Then I asked him, please, sir, both of us are referring to the same law, I hope, sir. I also studied the same law, sir. You also studied the same law, sir. Please go and read that law, sir. And then tell me, sir, whether I'm right or wrong. So he went. Then he called me back. And he said, I think it is not there. You're right. I said, then why did you send that mail? That becomes a record now. Now you have to take it back. Or I have to give a reply to you. Why all that? Immediately don't type out mails. Talk to me. Thereafter, mails are always possible. Let us discuss. Send a mail. I will send a mail. You send a reply. I can take it as a document. No, you have sent it, not applicable. Now I have to correct you. I have to educate you. Why go through this process in writing? Yeah, like that. Because if I don't educate you now, the question will be hanging. That your statement will be hanging. I can't let that go. So I sent a detailed note. which is nothing but your answer in the examination. You got my point. The examination answer I wrote according to say section zones of the deposit rules. Deposit receipt from one company to another company. LLPs are not included in the exemption. Therefore, the amount received by this company from the LLP is a deposit under the deposit rules. Thank you. Okay, that is the answer. See, now you understand the logic of the questions that the institute is asking. The institute is ensuring that you possess sufficient knowledge to, handle these situations in real life. That's all. Nothing more than that. SBN and all over. That story itself is over, na? Demonetization. One fine evening, our enlightened Prime Minister came and told us 2,000 notes won't be valid, 500 rupee notes won't be valid. I don't know, I think 500 rupee note also. 1,000 rupee notes won't be valid. I don't know, did we have 1,000 rupee notes? Forgot all that, yeah. 1,500 old notes gone. Then they got 2,500. Okay. So this was the requirement. Please don't bother from exam point of view. So every company shall come, every auditor shall comply with auditing standards. Thank you. The central government may prescribe the standards of auditing. Thank you. As recommended with ICAI. Thank you very much. In consultation with and after examination of the recommendations made by who else? NFRA. Okay. It is further provided. I'm just going fast. It's not further provided that until any auditing standards are notified, the standards specified by the ICAI shall be deemed to be the auditing standards. Thank you very much, Your Honors. Okay. So this is where, yeah. Okay. So in addition to this, CARO is there. I'm not covering that. It's not that part of your syllabus. You can enjoy it in auditing. Okay. This is in addition to, earlier it was called MAO CARO, Manufacturing and Other Companies Auditors Report Order, 1974. Then it kept having avatar after avatar after avatar. I think it has now gone into its 10th avatar. Okay. And you'll study it in detail when you come to auditing. Don't worry about that. Reporting of frauds. Before we go to reporting of frauds, let's see what all questions you have. Very good. You are going to become CA Nagaraja. Yeah, see, Mustafa ji, now everybody will be proud. Yeah, 5 years you become an employee of a large company. Then we will talk. At that time, you should tell, I'm proud, sir. Then I will believe you. Abhi to no. Abhi all of you will tell. Who will not tell? Once you get fat salaries from these companies, they don't bother about membership with the institute. Mr. Srikanth, that institute and all, I lost touch long ago. Like that dialogue, I don't want to hear from you at that time. Boss, I don't care what percentage. Yeah. Let it be 3%, yeah, 2%, yeah, 1%, yeah. I'll be there, yeah. Minimum it should be by not 1%, now I'll be there, yeah. Like that you think. Sorry, I know this may be irritating to some of you, but what to do? Unless that attitude is there, no. See, many students are unnecessarily worrying about pass percentages, this paper, easy paper. All that is chalanam. Don't go there. Achalam. Be achalanam. Be clear. Achal. Be clear. Don't bother about all that. Yes. See, demonetization, SBNs were there now. So who else is to put in that pressure? Auditor is always there. Make him verify whether they were holding any SBNs and what they did with this and all that. Okay. Anything you want to verify, get auditor. See, there was one clause 49 of the listing agreement, Baba. See, that clause 49 has no financial data in it. The clause 49 requirements, nothing financial, nothing to do with financial statement. Okay, it is only corporate governance and compliance with the Companies Act and other rules and regulations and the listing agreement and all that. No, that has to be certified. Now, why can't they ask the company secretary to certify that? No. Clause 49 of the listing agreement, you sign. Why? Whatever it is, you sign here. He will not. We will give him secretarial audit, simple questions. Tough questions, you sign here. You sign. Like clause 49, we sign. Though that subject is 100% more about capital markets, listing agreement. I mean, I'm happy. I charge one more certificate for me to charge. For listed companies alone, we give a certificate. Clause 49 of the listing agreement certificate. They were straightforward questions. How many independent directors are there? How many board meetings were held? Attendance at board meetings. All are verifiable facts. Nothing, no opinion. We simply have to verify the fact and I have to inform them. That's all. Okay, now fraud. Before we go to fraud, allow me to go for a small break. Addendum means addendum. Where is it? Addendum. Why did you see this addendum? Something which is added. See, you make a list. You make a financial statement. Add anything that is added. Come at the end. Usually, addendum will be something that is added at the end. See, it must have been included here, but it will be added. Addendum. The word itself is an add. Addendum. It is added. Okay. Good. Give me 1 minute. Let us continue with the class. Extra document, additional document, addition. A document which is added, addendum. See, sometimes what happens now, in the main document now, something should have been included, forgotten to be included. Then it will be included in the bunch, even as an addendum. Okay. For example, there could be some spelling mistake or typographical error in the main document. Now, what we will do is correction will be done. Errata. That will be an addendum to the main document. So refer to the errata for this. Okay. Notwithstanding anything contained in this section, if an auditor of a company in the course of the performance of his duties as auditor has reasons to believe that an offense involving fraud, which involves or is expected to involve individually an amount of rupees 1 crore or above, is being or has been committed against the company by officers or employees of the company, he shall immediately report the matter to the central government within such time and in such manner as may be prescribed. Now, go back to Paramanand. Paramanand discovered a fraud. Okay. Then he should have complied with 143.12. He should ensure that he reports to the central government. But that is only if the fraud is more than 1 crore. If it is less than 1 crore, then the auditor should report the matter to the audit committee. Okay, audit committee. Now, my dear friends, this is where this section presumes an honorable and honest audit committee. And I question it. I question it, and this is going to be proved. The next fraud that happens, it will not be because of the auditor's negligence or auditor collusion. It will be because of an audit committee failure. And it will happen before the audit is over. The expose will happen when audit committees will be shown for what they are. There is no independence. They are not being independent. And that will be shown up. And so there could be or may not be collusion by a large firm. But the audit committee will also come out in a bad way here. The next time it happens. Because what were you doing? Okay. What were you doing? Less than 1 crore. He comes to you. He reports. What did you do after that? This section is a very beautiful section. While it puts a responsibility on a chartered accountant to report fraud, it also protects him once he reports it. Once I comply with 143.12, I can go. Why should I? Thereafter, the central government ka problem hai, audit committee ka problem hai, not my problem anymore. Okay. So, first of all, I have discovered a fraud, or you have discovered a fraud. You are the auditor. Okay. Amount is 1.5 crores. Immediately you report to the board first. So give them an opportunity to give a reply. Yeah. Maybe you are hasty. Maybe there is a valid explanation for this. So over a period of 1.5 years, money has been siphoned by the MD in his own personal name. He has taken it out. Or something. For example, I'll tell you how he would have done it. He would not have done it directly through MD. He would have had bogus companies. Those companies would have been hired as contractors. They would have raised bills based on that. So you would have done an audit and tried to find out what is the nature of those bills. So see the opacity problem. You ask, sir, you have made a payment to Dubaco and Co. one company. What is that? That's an MD thing, sir. MD asked me to send a payment. I sent. Okay. Now, what are they doing for you? No, sir. Some contracts, sir. Please don't ask me any further questions. Hey, MD ka matter, sir. MD ka matter. Right. MD ka matter, na. I am the auditor. I am asking you, what is the nature of that amount? When do you spend? Can I have a contract with that party? They would not have made all that. See, they would have thought, when we will cross the bridge when we come there. So if you have any contract, please show me. Then that fellow will run away. And suddenly the MD will come. And the MD will say, Mr. Srikanth, evening, why don't we go to the club? I just want to talk to you. So, yes, sir, tell me. Srikanth, you know how it is. So many expenses are there for government, etc. Brother, what is this? I'm asking you, give a reply. Are you able to understand the seriousness of what is happening here? So, that's all. Once that opacity is pierced, I will see behind it and I will know that that's a bogus company. So you are siphoning the funds of the company through the bogus company. So I'm the auditor of the company, not the auditor of the MD. Okay, so therefore I will say, sorry, sir, this is a fraud. Oh, okay, you go angry. You know who I am? I will take care of you. You take care of me, you don't take care of me. What is that? Bhagavan had to protect me. I am not here that you do. Bhagavan, whether he will protect me. You don't bother about that. Then what? See, with that much, if you don't have that much will, you should not get into this game. Which is why I have a threshold where I don't undertake audits where I have the slightest doubt about the ethical behavior of the promoters or the management. Even if you have the slightest doubt, iota of doubt that the management or I will not touch that audit. At the threshold level itself, I will say, boss, you are all big people. Please take your audit to some other big firm. My firm is a small firm, ethical firm. We will not be able to handle your type of behaviors. Please go. At the threshold level itself, will send him off. So why even come here and get into this trap? Now, suppose this fraud is not reported. Huge offense. If it is reported, the MD will take care of you. Why even get into this type of audits? Yeah? For the money. Sirf, huh? Paisa ke liye, huh? Anyway, auditor shall report to board within 2 days of his knowledge, seeking reply or observations within 45 days. So give 45 days for reply. You get the reply. You can't keep quiet. You can't say, oh, I am thankful to the reply, Mr. MD, by no. On receipt of reply, sent to CG along with comments within 15 days of such receipt. Clearly you send. That's all. Duty. If it is 1 crore and above duty, it is no longer an option. You cannot, 1 crore and above fraud you have discovered. You give him an opportunity to give a reply, ma. That also you enclose it and send it to CG. Then let CG be the decision authority. In case you don't receive any report, then forward the report directly to CG along with note of report sent to board. So you tell him, I sent the report this to board. I have not got any reply. This is the view, blah, blah, blah. Please. Now that's it. You are free. Okay, central government is now got. They have to take an action here. Of course, this will be the trigger for action. Under other sections are there, investigation and all. Okay, the central government will initiate an investigation to the affairs of the company and all that. Okay, that you will study when you come to final. The report shall be sent to the MCA secretary in a sealed cover by registered post with acknowledgement due or by speed post followed by an email in confirmation of the same. The report shall be on letterhead of auditor and be signed by the auditor with the seal and shall indicate his membership number. No problem. I've come so far, then why will I not put my membership number? Okay. The report shall be in the form of a statement as specified in form ADT 4. Form is there. In that form, it should be done. Okay. So try to remember this. Less than 1 crore, what happens to the audit committee? So, less than the specified amount, then you give the nature of the fraud with description, approximate amount involved, and parties involved. That matter to be disclosed in the board's report. Okay, approximate amount involved, parties involved. Also, the board should mention what is the remedial actions taken. Suppose, see, there is another situation also. Now, you are coming for audit. By the time that fraudulent MD would have been found out by the company itself, then they themselves will tell you, sir, there is a fraud. Please go through it and tell us how much. And please report. So you officially do it and send to CG also. And they will go and explain. There was a fraud. We have removed that MD. And now we are trying to recover it from him. Case has been filed against him. Like that. See, this is one case where we have to break the confidentiality rule. See, normally, chartered accountant, the auditors who are auditing companies are not supposed to reveal anything that they get to anybody. All the information which is obtained in the course of audit should be maintained confidentially. But here what I'm doing, I'm reporting this matter to the central government. So that alone is exempted. Where an auditor reports fraud in good faith, in accordance with subsection 12, he shall not be regarded as having contravened any duty. Okay. Audit of government companies, we already saw the appointment of the auditor. Point is, the auditor is appointed by the CAG. Okay. In addition to that audit, CAG also will conduct an audit. Within 60 days, the CAG will conduct a supplementary audit and give its comment. 98% of the time, the supplementary audit, they will give clean report. No comments like that. But sometimes they may give a comment. Nothing wrong. See, especially on applicability of India AS, the CAG may have a view. See, I have myself conducted workshop for the auditors of the CAG on accounting standards. And there are many cases where they'll have one view. I will expose one view like that. No, that was a fantastic opportunity. Myself and about 3 other chartered accountants, including senior chartered accountants in the city of Chennai, including the late lamented Mr. L. Venkatesan, one of the authorities on accounting standard and accounting. It's no more. He passed away. Such people we are all faculty, we used to conduct, and they used to come. It was nice. So they will ask all sorts of questions. You should be really thorough in audit. Otherwise, you cannot go and talk to them. And they will ask you questions. You have to give answers based on the accounting standard. And by and large, these will be what will come in the comment also. Okay. Any comments given by the CAG upon or supplement to the audit report shall be sent by the company to every person. Okay. It will be attached to the annual report. And see that this is why sometimes there may be a delay in holding of AGM of a government company. You remember earlier we saw there was a delay in holding of AGM. So therefore financial statement could not be filed. What to do? Like that. Do you remember? So that is because of the CAG audit. Sometimes there may be a delay. And without getting his supplementary report, they cannot finalize. Right? So the government company sometimes may conduct a test audit also. CAG may also do a test audit. Okay, test audit. There are large public sector companies, okay, where central government is having more than 51% or etc., where they have a team of CAG auditors sitting there in the building itself, in that company itself, as a sort of a wing, audit wing, and they'll be doing audit on a continuous basis. Okay, so this is what it's all about. Branch office outside India, either the company's auditor can audit it, or an accountant, or by any other person duly qualified to act as an auditor of the accounts of the branch office. So you have a Singapore branch, then that Singapore branch can be audited by the company's auditor himself. Or if you feel, sir, the transactions are very less there, why should you go to Singapore for this, sir? We will hire an auditor in Singapore, no problem. So provided he is qualified as an auditor under the Singapore law. Okay. As far as the branch auditor is concerned, his report will be sent to the statutory auditor. The statutory auditor will go through it and deal with it in his report. That's all. Once the branch auditor gives his report, his job is over. Correct? So the same provision will apply to cost auditor, secretarial auditor, etc., etc. Okay. The auditor has to sign the audit reports. All that is duty. Remember, we also say while signing, this is the balance sheet referred to in the report. Sir, the auditor is entitled to receive notice of all general meetings. Ladies and gentlemen, will please note this. Auditor shall be entitled to receive all notices of and other communication relating to any general meeting. So if the company secretary says, you are only going to come for the AGM, why should I give for EGM? No. Auditor is entitled to receive all notices, all communications relating to any general meeting. This is a very trick question they could ask in the exam. Be thorough. And that's it. What more is there to know? Auditor is entitled to receive all notices and other communications relating to any general meeting. So the company cannot say, I will not give you notice for EGM. They have to give. Now comes the duty. The auditor shall, unless otherwise exempted by the company, attend either by himself or through his authorized representative, who shall also be qualified to attend any general meeting. See, generally, many companies, they conduct through online. Wherever necessary, I go. But 80 to 90% of the cases, we get a mail from them asking them to say, we exempt you, don't have to come. Thank you. Wish us well. Bye. Thank you, sir. Bye. But in some cases, they say you have to come. So I go. Sometimes they invite me and say, Srikanth, you have to come. Be there. I go. Even if they don't, I have to go. Sometimes I may not be able to go. I'm traveling abroad. I'm traveling somewhere else. Most of the time I travel. So my junior partner will go. Just to go there. They will provide some samosa, cashew nut. Eat it, drink your coffee, come. That's all. What else? Nothing else to do. Okay. All the routine matters will be done. Company secretary will be there. Blah, blah, blah. Everything will be there. Come back. They ask any question, whatever you know, you tell. Okay. Finally, the accounts will be adapted. Don't worry about that. Sometimes the junior partner will be a little worried. Go there, yeah, have some experience only, then you will understand like that. The auditor shall have the right to be heard at such meeting on any part of the business which concerns him as the auditor. This is the main point. See, suppose any questions are asked about the financial statement, the auditor also will be asked, can give. Sometimes, some cases, no, the company MDs and directors will be a little worried about certain things. So they will say, Srikanthji, you come, you be there. In case anybody asks any question, you reply. Okay, I go there. Some shareholder will stand up. How that is like this, like that. I'll stand up and I'll give the view. This is how it. I want the company's auditor to reply. Like that, he will say. Definitely, sir, I reply. I give him some valid reply. He will ask some further question. I will sit down. Then later on, while drinking coffee, he'll come to me, Srikanth sir, do you know me? I was like that. Now, it's a very good question you asked, sir. I hope you got the answer. That's all. Good investor relationship is more important. So after all, the shareholder is entitled to ask a question. You cannot say you should not ask. Because we have taken his money and we are bound to reply to him. And if he is asking any question, you have to give a valid answer. That's the point. In case the company contravenes 139 to 146, 139 to 146, complete company contravention, 25,000 rupees up to 5 lakhs, 1 lakh to 10,000 to 1 lakh. No imprisonment. Okay. Auditor contravening, that's it. Kill that fellow. 139, 144, 145. Because these three sections directly have duties for us. Right? Especially 144, where we are not supposed to. When he is doing it unknowingly, then 25,000 to 5 lakhs or 4 times remuneration. This is for unknowing. Without knowing he did it. Then 25,000 minimum, 5 lakh maximum, or 4 times remuneration, whichever is less. That is unknowingly. Knowingly or willfully, gone. Imprisonment up to 1 year. Fine 50,000 to 25 lakhs. Or 8 times the remuneration, whichever is less. Okay. And if convicted, in some cases where there is a collusive fraud, etc., where there is a conviction, then he has to refund the remuneration received and pay for damages. Sir, this is nothing new in the United States of America or UK. For India, this is new. That's all. In US, auditors are continuously sued by shareholders, by banks and all. And everybody has professions, insurance and all, and things like professional, for suit. When there's a professional liability insurance, everybody has. Doctors have, advocates have, huge amount of cover they have. Auditors also have huge cover. In case there is any damage claim, we will invoke it's like a third party insurance for a car. We will simply invoke it and the insurance company will have to pay the damages. For that, we will be paying premium year on year. This is nothing new for developed countries. India new. We'll also become developed country. Finally, we come to cost audit. After that, I will do some MCQs also, if you permit me. Central government may prescribe maintenance of particulars relating to the utilization of material or labor. So we saw now accounts included maintenance of cost records. Okay. So for certain industries and certain classes of companies, the central government will prescribe compulsory maintenance of cost records. Okay. So once an industry is identified and covered by Rule 4, then cost records should be maintained by companies which are exceeding the limits. So in one industry, cost audit is compulsory, means all companies need not do. Only those companies which are crossing. So cost records to be maintained by companies where turnover is not less than 35 crore. So this is for maintenance of cost records. Got it? So an industry is identified, cement. In the cement industry, all companies have to maintain cost records. Not all companies, only those companies where the turnover is not less than 35 crores, which will be almost all. Okay. Out of this, okay, some companies should have mandatory cost audit. Suppose they are in a regulated sector. Friends, before 1991, this country had regulatory. We were living in a license Raj. So we were in a wonderful socialistic frame of government where the resources of production were controlled by the government. We were following the Soviet Russian model and we were saying the government will control. So what is to be done? So let the government will decide whether we need more tractors or whether we need more cars, whether we need luxury item. That government will decide. Okay. And they will give licenses. So they will decide this year we need only 4 lakh cars. That's all. Seal. And for that, we will identify Mr. A, Mr. B, take the license, manufacture. So it was a very peculiar, sad state of affairs. All that got corrected in 1991 when completely deregulated. I told you, civil aviation, deregulated. Insurance sector, deregulated. Everything else, deregulated. Okay? But still, there are certain areas where regulation still applies. Licensing is still there. Okay? In those industries alone, okay, for those countries, overall annual turnover from all products and services during immediately preceding financial year is greater than or equal to 50 crores. And aggregate turnover is greater than or equal to 25 crores. So if it's a regulated sector, you have to check up. 2 conditions have to be satisfied. Overall annual turnover from all products and services, 50 crores. And aggregate turnover is 25 crores. Okay. This is. In the case of non-regulated, overall annual turnover from all products and services is 100 crore. And aggregate turnover is 35. That is, the turnover of this business is 35 crore. See, that company may be in many, many businesses. So overall annual turnover. And this company cut off. This business cut off. For example, take company. Not able to think of a company which is conglomerate and licensed. Not able to think. Because cement companies are all, they are not conglomerate. Suppose a cement company is having both cement division. See, India Cement should be a classic example. It has a cement business. It also has a cricket team. Chennai Super Kings. So these are 2 divisions now. So that overall turnover has to be taken. That should be greater than or equal to 50 crore. And the cement alone should be greater than or equal to 25 crores. Easily it will be more. So cost audit compulsory. Are you able to understand? If it is non-regulated, 100, 35. Okay. So this is how we have to understand it. I hope you have understood this. If so, we can. No, auditor cannot take his decision for less than 1 crore, Mr. Anil. Less than 1 crore, you have to report to audit committee. You have to send to the board and you have to report to the audit committee, not your own decision. You have to report it to the. See, the audit committee is seen as some kind of a big shot, independent body which is supposed to oversee the managing director and the company. This is a myth that has to be exploded by Pakka statistics and research. Somebody has to do this, collect the data and expose the fairness of whether the audit committee is truly independent. I mean, this is a statement made by a professional. I have nothing against any part. I'm not saying anything anti this thing. I'm saying truly the independence of the audit committees, I doubt. We have to really see how independent they are. Given a situation, will they stand? We have to see. They have not stood in the past. They have been mere rubber stamps, including Satyam. When Ramalinga Raju wanted to merge Meta's, the entire independent director board, they simply kept their mouth shut and put job. Thereafter, when the market reacted and they said, no, what is being done is wrong, then these independent directors woke up and they resigned. Too late, yeah. When you were sitting in that boardroom, you should have said, even if one of you had said no, that would not have happened. Not even one opened your mouth. So independent are you. I mean, this is a view. Take it out of the context of Satyam. Any company I challenge, will they have the guts to go against the managing director? See the names of these people. Can you go against that man? Will you have the guts to do it? So how independent? So that means we need people like Kaudilya, Chanakya. We don't have time, but you take the example from Chanakya. Chanakya was such an independent director. Such men have to come who will not bother about. And that means those men should have no importance for money. Only people who have no importance for money will be detached. People who give importance for money, somewhere or the other we can catch him. Something or the other we can catch him. Whereas a man who says money is not money and anything that wealth can get me, they have no importance for me beyond honor and virtue. Such a man can. One such man, we should be proud, was a member of our institute, CAT and Manoharan. Past president, late lamented Padma Shri CAT and Manoharan. Such a man who would have honored honor and virtue above the external advantages of rank and fortune. Such men are needed. Only when such men come, truly independent direct boards will become independent. This is my view. Please take it as a view. The cost audit shall be conducted by a cost accountant, obviously, who shall be appointed by the board. Note it, Your Honours, the statutory auditor is appointed with the members, except for the first auditor. Whereas the cost accountant is appointed by the board. Remuneration is fixed by the board. Okay, the statutory auditor, even though he may be a qualified cost accountant, cannot be a cost auditor. The cost auditor has to comply with the cost auditing standards. It's the same logic. Okay, for appointment audit committee, it's similar to statutory auditor. You saw this already when the audit conducted in 148 shall be in addition to 143. The qualifications, disqualifications, rights, duties, obligations applicable to statutory auditor shall also be applicable to cost auditor. It shall be the duty of the company to give off. So what all you studied in for auditor, not rights, duties, obligations, mutatis. Suitable changes will apply to cost auditor. It shall be the duty of the company, because for cost auditor, no caro. For him, there's a different format. The central government is prescribed. The cost audit report is a huge format. It's an extraordinarily brilliant format. You have to data. So much data has to be given there. It shall be the duty of the company to give all assistance and facilities to the cost auditor appointed in this section for auditing the cost accounts. Cost auditor will submit his report to the board. Then the company will furnish it to the central government within 30 days. In case any reservation or qualification, they should give full information on that. then central government will call for further information and close it. So this is called closure. So the cycle will be, the cost audit will be recommended by the central government from the panel. Then the company will appoint him. Then he will conduct the audit, submit his report. Board will send it to central government. Any queries are there closed. Then finally, central government, after taking all the queries, will close the cost audit report and then give it. Then the company shall furnish the same within such time to the government. And if any default in this section, company will be same punishment as 147(1), and cost auditor same punishment as 147(2)(4). Same punishment, what we saw here. Same punishments, 147(2)(4). Correct? Okay. So this is the provision. Exactly on time I have completed it, but I crave your indulgence for another 5 minutes for maybe 3 or 4. Who can be cost auditor? Member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. So, who can be cost auditor? Member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, ICAI. That is also called ICAI. Okay. Earlier they were called ICWAI. Now they are called ICAI. I am a member of the Institute of Company Secretaries and the Institute of Chartered Accountants, of course. But I am not a member of the other ICAI. Somehow I never wrote the exam. And sir, sir, you don't actually have to understand it, but if you are very particular, I will explain it. See, regulated means you cannot set up a company in that industry without a license from the central government. You cannot set up a company in that industry without a license from the central government. Whereas in non-regulated sector, there is no such condition. Anybody can set up anytime they want. Have you understood, sir? So if you want to set up, there should be a license. So, but it's called license Raj. Nowadays, there is not many industries which are having licensed. Cement is one industry which I remember. There is maybe some defense sectors, some energy, I think, is still licensed. Energy. Telecom is no longer. To an extent, telecom is regulated. Telecom regulated. See, electricity is regulated. Electricity is regulated. Energy is regulated. Not specified, ma'am. See, if you want to set up a company or if you want to set up an industry in that, if you want to set up a company in that industry now, you have to get a license from the government. You have to get permission from the government. That is called regulated. Sir, I can't keep telling you story. Every time, sir, there are, it's not like that. Instead, give me time to, I'll see if I can, but in the meantime, just give me another 5 minutes to, a few MCQs. Few MCQs. Okay. We've already done quite a lot. So, let us start here. Auditor of a government company shall submit, which is another 5 minutes. With that, we'll close. Auditor of a government company shall submit audit report to you are right. CAG, because CAG appointed him now. So he'll send the report to CAG. Okay. First, the shareholders will adopt it, etc., etc. But the report shall be sent to CAG. Absolutely correct. An auditor cannot render which of the following services to the company? Be careful. See, actually, this question itself is a little vague. But still, let us see whether you have an answer. I wish I had worded this question better. 21, 20. B is the correct answer. 20B is the correct answer. See, but point is, this question should be a statutory auditor cannot render which, and statutory audit should not be there. Maybe something else should be there, right? Tax advisory services can be done. Review engagement can be done. Why not? Tax audit, definitely. Bookkeeping services you cannot provide. If you are the statutory auditor, you cannot. Okay. Okay. 20B is the correct answer. See, actually, this question can be, I will reword it, you will be able to get it better. Now here I will remove and I will put tax advisory. And now also answer doesn't change. Answer doesn't change, but the question becomes more sensible. So I'm doing it here and now. A statutory auditor. See, you are already statutory auditor. Then you cannot enter bookkeeping services. But you can do tax audit. You can do tax advisory. You can do review engagement. All that is okay. Hey, this is too easy. Shuck. I think you're getting insulted by this question. Yeah, I'm sorry about this. 144. Remember? 144. 144. Audit report must be signed by CF. Any partner in charge of audit. Audit report must be signed by the partner in charge of it. See, there will be an engagement partner. There can be a review partner. But the engagement partner only can sign. Nobody else should sign. So he only formed the opinion now. Simple logic. That the audit report is a opinion. Who formed that opinion? Only that gentleman should sign, or that lady should sign. Okay. That is the logic. Okay. 22B is correct. 23. Auditor must attend AGM. Personally, only. See, the condition there is only. So, he can also attend through authorized qualified representative. Even if board does not invite, I can go. See, it is the duty of the board to invite. But if they don't invite, doesn't mean I cannot go. Okay, I can go. Nobody can prevent me. Okay. See, this is a direct question on penalty. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. Company 109 146. Okay. You can check out 25,000 to 5 lakhs. If you know, you know. So you need to know. That is the only conclusion. A cost auditor must be too easy. Cost accountant in practice. My dear friends, same rules apply to him also. Just like a chartered accountant in practice, he should be a cost accountant in practice. Okay. So with this, for this topic, over the last 3 sessions, we have done 24 questions, right? We have done 25 questions. That means per session, we have done about 8 questions per session. If we have done 8 multiple choice questions per session, overall, we have done 25, right? On the time. I thank you for your wonderful support and for wishing you all the very best in the exam that you're writing and hoping that you will perform very well. Fortunately, I don't have. If at all you want a quotation, but the quotation was asked by a person. See, he will not mistake me. I'm sure he wanted me to give some quotation. Uh, he is. I think.
A very good evening, sir.
Yeah, madam. So,
There's some connectivity problem.
are you able to hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm able to hear it clearly what you are saying, sir.
Okay, I've finished my.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, dear students, a very good evening and thank you, sir, for such an enlightening session.
Shall I leave now, madam?
Sure, sir. Sure. If you want, you can stay for just 1 or 2 minutes.
I'll do that. I'll do.
Yeah.
So on some stage.
And yeah, technical team, just allow me to. Okay, now I'm able to share. So, dear students, there is a program for you. If any one of you is appearing for January 2026 examinations, I know this batch is primarily for May 2026 examination. However, if any one of you is appearing for January 2026 examination, there is a fortnight program that is being organized by the Board of Studies Academic, and it is primarily only for January 2026 attempt. And the paper that we are dealing with right now is corporate and other laws, though this fortnight program is starting from 11th November, but our paper, that is paper 2, will be dealt with by the expert faculty, and you are very much knowing who is that expert faculty. One of you is there, do attend this program. If by chance any of you is attending the January 2026 attempt. And apart from that, okay, very good. You have already registered. Good, good. So I think, ma'am, it may be join in Zoom. Yes, the link will be there. See, link is there. How to join? So see you all who are attempting this January 2026 examination, not only for this subject, but for other subjects also at the intermediate level. Okay, someone is asking that how to join. I will attend May 26th. So, okay, how to join? Go. I think better than me will be this Anil Gotli. Can you just unmute yourself and tell the students how to join the program? Anil, can you unmute yourself? I'm just stop sharing it.
Ma'am, good evening,
Yes.
ma'am.
Good
I'm
evening.
audible, ma'am.
Yes, you are very much audible.
They have to fill the form through the link, and they can automatically redirect it to the relevant application.
Okay.
I mean,
And where they
and
what is
they
the place where they can
at
find
last,
this link?
ma'am, in BOS portal it is very much available.
And flyer is
Ma'am,
also shared in the WhatsApp group. Okay.
yeah, ma'am.
So go to the WhatsApp group of your class, and then you can. There is a link as well as this flyer.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, due to background noise, I'm
You
just
can let us know.
leaving the audio. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Please. Students, I think now your query is clear. Please go to the WhatsApp group of your class, this CA Intermediate 1, and then see there is a flyer as well as the link is there. If there is any other problem with that, just message it on and we will see to it. So with that, if you have any other query for Board of Studies, do let us know. Otherwise, I will close today's session.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Good night. See you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Aditya, just message me what is your
Good evening,
query?
madam. Audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Madam, in this form, can I register both or only one, madam? They
As
give,
in, I didn't get you what you're trying to say.
they can give two links. I have to fill both two links or only one, ma'am.
No, you can obviously fill for both groups also. There is no problem with that.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there are few more queries. Can I raise subject related queries in this session, or Anil, you are asking about in this session or about that session, this fortnight program? Okay. Then good evening, ma'am. I registered group 1 only 3 subjects. When I fill examination form, can I give only for 3 subjects? Beta, the course has changed altogether now. So it's 3 subjects for everyone. Now there is no provision for that you can attempt the earlier scheme. Everyone is at par and everyone has to give the same 3 papers in one group only. Okay? Yes, you can obviously. So let me, Anil, it's like on, I think, 12th of November, you will be having paper number 1, which is your advanced accounting. And then on 14th, you have paper number 2. So this is subject related only. It is dealing with every subject. Okay. And it's a 2-hour session. I have, Navneet, you don't have to follow any additional steps. I'm telling you, the course altogether has changed for everyone. So now it's not like that you have to, old course and new course are not running parallel. Only one course is there, which has started from May 2024 examination. So everyone has to give only these 3 papers, which is paper 1 advanced accounting, paper 2 corporate and laws, and paper 3 is divided into 2 parts, 3 and 3B. It will for 3 years only, which is your direct taxation and indirect taxation. The names may be changed like GST or something, but it will be like that only. So Aditya, ma'am, what is the last day to register? As such, there is no last day to register, but register beforehand. It will be easy for you. Any more queries, students? Okay, I think all clear with all the students. So with this, we will end today's session and see you soon again. Thank you, Navneet. Thank you, dear students. Keep on studying. You will be having a few holidays and your exams will be approaching soon. So keep on studying and keep on asking questions. We love them. Thank you, Navneet. Thank you, dear all students. Anil, Adil, Aditya, Kuldeep, Mujahid. Thank you. Thank you to all the students. Take care. Bye.
Manish ji? Yes.